Good evening. Welcome to the December 13th council meeting, and we will call the Chino City Council and the successor agency to the redevelopment agency to order this evening. If our city clerk will note that all sitting members of the council are present. If you'd please stand, Councilperson Comstock's going to lead us in the flag salute.
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in supporting our nation's and saluting our nation's flag? Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Karen. The first item on the agenda is the November 8th election results and the oath of office. I'd like to call our city clerk to give us the results of the election, please.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. The returns of the election have been canvassed, and the San Bernardino County Register of Voters provided the certification and statement of votes, which is included as Exhibit A to Resolution Number 2002-089. Based on the election results, Mark A. Lucio was re-elected member of the City Council for District 3, and Curtis Burton was elected member of the City Council for District 2, each for a term of 4 years. Approval of Resolution Number 2002-089 will meet the city's requirements to declare the results of the November 8, 2022 general municipal election and such other matters as provided by law. Mayor, members of the City Council, that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Angela. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council about the election? Okay, seeing none, then we are going to move on to the oath administration. Mr. Lucio, if you would please step down.
Mayor, before we move on to the oath, may we please have a vote on the resolution? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We do need a motion and a second. This is going to be verbal this evening.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, there's a motion from Councilman Flores.
I'll make the second, Mayor. Thank you.
Second from Councilperson Comstock. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Comstock?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucio?
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa?
Yes. And the item passes unanimously. Next, we do have the oath of office. And Councilman Lucio, if you would please step down. And I'd like to call up Sandra Lucio, his wife. She is going to actually be doing the swearing in. Mr. Lucio has brought his whole clan. If all of you would like to stand behind him, that way the audience can see, and also it'll be on the TV screens.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental
reservation,
reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties which I'm about to enter.
Sonny, are you going to sit down?
Oh, okay. All right, let's see if I can go from one side to the other. Holding my hand is Marco, my son Gavin, my wife Sandra, my mother Terry, my son Anthony, my daughter Samantha, Lucas, who's hiding his face, my mother Maria, and my father Marco.
While they're getting ready for the photo, I have to tell you, that oath of office is actually tongue-tying. It's difficult to say, especially when you're nervous. Mark, would you like to address the audience?
I just wanted to thank the community for giving me another 4 years to serve. The reason I had my wife come up here is my wife has been my strongest supporter. She was with me when we ran 4 years ago, pregnant, and was walking pregnant and walking shortly after we had the baby. So she's always been a strong advocate for me. My mother has always been the other strong person in my life that's always helped me throughout everything that I've always had. So I've been blessed to have two very strong women. So when they say that, you know, behind every successful person is a strong woman, I've had the opportunity to have one growing up, which was my mother, and then my wife now that we're married. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, next I'd like to call up Curtis Burton. And if you would like to call your family up, his son Bryce Burton is actually going to administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Curtis Burton,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Okay, now there's going to be a picture.
Oh, okay.
Do the picture first. And would you like to introduce your family?
This is a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, I'm really super excited to be here. I'm overwhelmed, actually, and it's my honor to be able to introduce my family to you. My incredible wife, Bertie, my son, Bryce, who you just met, my daughters, Leah and Hannah, Maddie, and my grandson, Dean, right here in the front, and my cousin Matt and Marjorie Skane in the back.
Now address the audience.
I just want to thank everybody here. I thank God for putting me into this position, number one. And again, my wife for putting up with me through this whole campaign process, which if anybody ever wants to do this, please talk to me first, because the campaign process is extremely interesting, but it's very, very fulfilling, and it really gives you a chance to get to know your neighbors, which I highly recommend everybody do. I'd like to acknowledge the Hargrove family over here. Terry, if you can raise your hand, I'd appreciate it. Mark Hargrove was a very special man, passed away in office, and I just really appreciate the Hargrove support through the entire process. I also appreciate Walt Pocock stepping up and doing the incredible job that he did. The man is amazing. That's the reason why he was a citizen of Chino for the year 2022. I just really appreciate Walt. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate your support. The people in District 2 that voted for me, I don't know what to say, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, come on up. Kids. Well, congratulations to you both. The next item on the agenda is our organization moving forward, and that's the appointment of the mayor pro tem. I'd like to ask for a nomination, please, for this office.
You know what, Mayor? I had the honor and the privilege of being the mayor pro tem for the last 2 years. It was a great opportunity to be able to run the meetings in your absence, be able to, stand in for you in some of the events. I think it's something that definitely, it really is good that we rotate this around, because everybody should have that experience to be able to do that and just kind of understand the amount of work that you got to put in, as the mayor, and everything you got to read and the script and everything else, and opening up meetings and closing them and everything else. But I would really like to nominate Karen Comstock for the next opportunity to be the mayor pro tem.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, there's a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, a second from Councilperson Flores for nominating Karen Comstock. Is there anyone else who would like to nominate someone? Okay, seeing none, then verbal vote, please.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Councilmember Comstock,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Congratulations, Karen. You now are Mayor Pro Tem. Would you like to speak to this?
I just want to thank you, Mayor, and the council for this nomination, and to the public. I want to thank you as well for your ongoing support for our city council. You've got a great team of people up here in Chino who have the concerns and their hearts in giving good local government to Chino first. And we can't do this without you. I've told people before, we get our legislative authority from written laws, but we get our consent to govern in this community from our residents. So thank you for that. We appreciate your prayers, and we're all going to work hard for you and do our best to do a good job and give good local government. And Mayor, you're hard shoes to fill, so I don't give you any permission for the next 2 years to be absent from even one single meeting. But should you be, I'd be honored to try and do the best job I can, and to step in for you at events to speak on behalf of this council when you're not available. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you to the council.
Next, we have the appointment of the chair and vice chair of the Public Financing Authority. I would like to ask for nominations for the chair. Is there a nomination for the chair?
Mayor, I have a nomination for the chair.
Okay,
We have a very young, up-and-coming council member on this team who is bright-minded and has shown that he's eager to get his mind around many different aspects of local governing. I think he'd be a great chair to our Public Financing Authority. And like I say, I think Chris is really the future of this council. I'd like to nominate Chris Flores.
okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there anyone else who is interested in nominating someone? Okay, seeing none, then voice roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Congratulations, Chris. Would you like to say anything?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Councilwoman Karen Comstock, and I just want to say all glory to God. And as Councilwoman Comstock mentioned, you have a great team up here who cares about the community, and it all starts with our finances. And everybody knows the famous question is, well, how much does it cost before we get to do that? So, with that being said, we hope to, again, do the best we can. So, thank you for the nomination, and thank you for the second, Councilmember Mark.
Okay, now we need a nomination for vice chair.
I'll nominate,
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Councilman Mark Lucio.
Okay, there's a nomination for Mark Lucio for the vice chair. Is there a second?
I'll second that nomination, Mayor.
Okay, and there's a second from Councilperson Comstock. Is there anyone else who would like to speak up? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Congratulations, Mark. You are the vice chair. Would you like to say anything?
You know, this is something new that we're doing. There is a lot of things that we got going on, obviously, with a civic center, potential civic center master plan, parks master plan, and some other things that we have going on in the city. So it's an important assignment. I look forward to it. I look forward to working side by side with Chris and the rest of the council. So I'm excited, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for nominating me.
Okay, congratulations. Next on the agenda, we actually has some information about our economic development report in December. I encourage you all to access that online and read it. It has some very interesting information. We have ceremonials next. We have one ceremonial, which I will come down in the front to do. Okay, Chino Valley Historical Society's donation to the city of Chino in support of the Old Schoolhouse Museum. The Old Schoolhouse Museum plays a really big part in our Chino community, as it helps to ensure the history of our great city is preserved for years to come. Linda, I'd like to call up Linda Flathers of the Chino Valley Historical Society. And Linda has invited also, Bob, you guys are jumping way ahead of the script. I'm following her. You're following her, okay. Linda, do you want to give us some background?
This is a very happy evening. Yes, it is. It's a fun evening, and I want to congratulate the new city councilman, especially Curtis Burton, who is in my district. Yay. This donation that we will be making to the city of Chino this evening has been 5 years in the making. And we are so happy as the Chino Valley Historical Society to be able to partner with the city to build a barn behind our old schoolhouse museum, which will house our farm equipment from the community to keep our legacy of our farming industry and our dairy industry alive. So with much pleasure, I would like to present to the city of Chino our obligation that we have been able to make our goal of $95,000 to the city of Chino to start the building of our barn.
Oh, Linda, that is fantastic. Now, tell us how you were able to raise that money.
Through donations, really, the Chino Valley Historical Society depends on donations from the community. and a little bit of fundraising on our part to keep our historical society alive and well. So with that, I would appeal to the community to make donations to the Chino Valley Historical Society. If you want to make a year-end donation, it is a tax-deductible donation, and it will help with the barn and the displays that will go inside.
You know, we do have a great legacy of agriculture. That's what Chino was built on originally. And the nice thing about this barn that's being built and what's going to be inside of it is many of these artifacts were actually donated by people that had dairies here and farms. And so it's personal donations from many, many, many years of farming in this area. So it's really going to mean a lot to a lot of the families. And I'm amazed at the money that you've been able to raise. That is just outstanding. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. I often wonder what a bank would do if you walked in with one of those. This doesn't fit in the ATM. Oh, my goodness. Okay, next on the agenda is public communication. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council about items that are not on the agenda elsewhere. Our written request to speak will be handled first, and our first written request is Mr. George Sasso from the Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. He's going to lead us in an invocation. I invite all of those who would like to join us to please stand.
May I say, Madam Mayor and Council, it's always a blessing and an honor to be here. As Councilmember Comstock and so many others have said, we have a wonderful council and a wonderful city. As I've been able to raise my kids and grandkids here for the past 40 years, it's a blessing. And I live in District 2 also, and I've known that man for many years. So I'm blessed to be here tonight. Let's pray. Lord, we do come before you. We thank you so much for this city that you've brought us to, and I thank you for the hearts of these council members, Lord, and our mayor, that they want the best for this city. And I ask that you'd continue to help them to have the right hearts and attitudes, Lord, that they would collaborate. Lord, not that they wouldn't disagree on things, but they would come to the right conclusions to bring this city where it needs to go. Protect it from all the evil out there, we pray. And we ask, Lord, that you'd bless this evening as they direct business also. Be with each of them and their families, I pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, George. Okay. Next written request to speak is Steve Eli from IEUA. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Congratulations on the re-election, Councilmember Lucio and Councilmember Burton. Looking forward to working with you in the future. I know the city's in great hands with the five of you. Councilmember Comstock, Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, and Councilmember Flores. I just wanted to say hello. You know, as I was standing out there thinking about the great relationships we have with the city of Chino at IEUA and the great service we do together, I noticed for the first time, because I was standing up there, all the things that are up here. Mm-hmm. Commitment to our community, integrity and accountability, fiscal responsibility, partnerships and teamwork, innovation, communication, and engagement. Those are all the things that IEUA and the city of Chino both do really well. And it's really important, you know. One of the major messages I want to communicate is all that rain we had in the last few days was wonderful. There's snow in the Sierras. It's not even going to make a dent in the last 3 years of drought, the historic 1,200-year drought. We have to continue to work harder and work smarter together. And I know we can, and I know we will. Our region is blessed with an amazing basin underneath us and a recycled water supply that, working together, will continue to help this area thrive. You know, you still have a lot of growth going on here in Chino, and we're spending significant funds to accommodate that at our Regional Plant 5 here in Chino, which, by the way, is open to all of you, even you, Fred, to come for a visit. We let lawyers on our property, too, I promise you. And so with that, I just wanted to say congratulations again to all of you, and looking forward to working with you in 2023. Thanks.
Thank you for being here, Steve. Next written request to speak is Fatel Kurash. He's from the Ahmadiyya Movement Introduction.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings be upon you. My name is Fateh Qurashi, and I'm here with Imam Kausar, young fellow, and my son Asim Qurashi. And the main purpose tonight is to congratulate taking the oath of the office, and we are looking forward to working with you all. We have an annual event every December, and this year we have the event on the 23rd of December at 3:30. We have a bunch of invitation cards, and we would love to have all of you at the event. It starts at 3:30, and with the awesome mouth-watering Indian Pakistani dinner around 5:30. So if that doesn't entice you, I don't know what else would. So with that said, I just wanted to extend on behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim community that we are here to support you, and anything that we can do to bring the community together. Actually, this event that I just described on the 23rd is just based on that notion. So with that said, I'm going to have Imam Kausar just to address.
Thank you again. Congratulations to all of you as well. In 1990, I was 3 years old. Don't do the math about how old I am. I flew with my parents, with my family, from LaGuardia Airport and landed in Ontario. 4 months ago, I did the same route again. When I was 3 years old, my father was the imam that was coming to LA to serve from New York. And 3 months ago, I was coming from New York to serve here in Chino as well. It's a very blessed experience for me. I grew up here. I went to Don Lugo High School. I went to Newman and Ramona Junior High. So I feel like this is my hometown. This is where I grew up. And so it's very nice for me to see the different examples of love and care that I've seen growing up, just seeing all my friends here. One incident I want to share with everybody so that they understand how much I love Chino and how much I love people here in Chino. And I would like to find ways to extend my appreciation personally for growing up here and seeing all the great people, but also in general from our community. We've tried our best to do as much as we can to help this community, but we want to extend it even more. So I was in high school, as you all know, when the very tragic and horrific event of 9/11 happened. On that morning, it was around 9 a.m. and or 8 a.m. or so, and we were getting ready for school, and we saw it on the news. And my father's initial knee-jerk reaction was, God forbid Americans may react the same way he saw people react growing up in Pakistan and other Asian countries. So he says, you shouldn't go to school. We should stay here. And the next reaction was, let's go and close the gate, just in case, God forbid, somebody who may be mentally unstable may react to us, not knowing that we are peaceful, loving people. A few hours later, not even hours, I think it was only within a few hours or so, within an hour or so, somebody did come and started banging on the gate. When we went to see who it was our neighbor. And the neighbor said, I have been living here for the last 30 years, and I have never once seen you guys close your gate. Open it, and I will stand on guard. You should never have to have any fear whatsoever. That is the kind of love I saw growing up. I saw how beautiful people are. And I realized that that is exactly my faith. I too, as a Muslim, believe in that love, believe in sharing that love with our neighbors. I knew that on that day it was heartfelt that my own citizens, Americans, I'm a New York born, died in that horrific event. But also people started blaming my faith, my religion. And I believe that the reason why I'm standing here as an imam is to share with the world the true and peaceful message of Islam. Our movement, the Ahmadiyya movement in Islam, has a motto, and I think everybody would fall in love with it. The motto is love for all, hatred for none. And growing up, reading more and more about the Holy Prophet Muhammad, all the peaceful things that he shared, on whom be peace, I found that one quote really resonated, and I'll leave you all with this last statement. He said, you cannot enter paradise until you believe. You cannot enter paradise until you believe, and you cannot believe until you love one another. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I have been to your events many times, and everyone is always very welcoming. And it is, I have to admit, the very first time I went, I was a bit nervous, but everyone is very, very welcoming. And I would encourage people to visit, especially on this special day on the 23rd. Now, unfortunately, I can't go. I explained to you.
Correct.
Our son is flying out on the 21st from Wisconsin. We have not seen him and his family in a number of years. And several months ago, as a Christmas present and a surprise, I bought our whole family, many of them, Disneyland tickets for the 23rd. We have reservations. So unfortunately, I will not be able to be there this year. But it is a wonderful event, and I do encourage our public to attend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
I
here
just
this
want
evening.
to add real quick, anybody here who would like to attend, we have an open invitation to everyone. Thank you very much.
And what time does it start?
3:30.
3:30 in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, those are the only written requests that I have to speak. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on any item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, then we will move on. Under our consent calendar, we have 3 items. Do any council members wish to have anything pulled? Okay, seeing none, then I would ask for a motion in a second. It's going to have to be verbal.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, there's a motion from Councilman Lucio.
I'll make the second, Mayor.
Second from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. You know I'm going to goof this up a couple of times. And if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Consent calendar passes unanimously. Next, under no new business, item number 4, purchase of real property at 13179 and 13191 9th Street. This is to approve the purchase and sale agreement with the McCombs Family Trust to acquire those properties. I'd like to ask for a staff report from our city attorney, Mr. Fred Galante.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I know this may sound familiar, but I'm back at it again for your consideration of purchase of another site. Before you is consideration, as the mayor announced, for the purchase of properties on 9th Street. The city learned that the owner of adjacent properties located at 13179 and 13191 9th Street in Chino was interested in selling the properties. The 2 properties total 13,625 square feet and were formerly used as offices for the Champion Press. The properties now sit vacant. The buildings include a 4,361 square foot, single-story concrete block office building and a 2,838 square foot, 2-story wood frame and stucco office building. The city secured an appraisal for the parcels from Dover Spike and Associates, which valued them collectively at $1,625,000. The valuation was dated October 11, 2022. The seller, after your city manager had discussions with their representative, agreed to sell the property for exactly that fair market appraised value. The city council, as you will recall, discussed the potential acquisition of the properties in closed session on November 1st and directed that the purchase agreement be presented at a future meeting. If approved tonight, the proposed use of the buildings would be for office space to house the city's water utility staff. City staff believes the location of the properties in this city's civic center adjacent to the Carol Owens Community Center makes the use of the properties well suited for this purpose. The purchase agreement is a bit unique. The seller insisted on a deposit, which typically I don't agree in negotiations, but you have a very short escrow period and the deposit is relatively small given the price of the properties. It's at $20,000, and that also sets the maximum penalty in the unlikely event that the city does not close escrow on the property. It has a very short escrow period. The city has 3 days to inspect the property, which is, again, another term I don't generally recommend, but in this case, in anticipation of this purchase and also the seller's desire to close by year end, the city's already conducted all the studies beforehand. City staff inspected the buildings. You've received a Phase 1 environmental soils report and assessment of the historical use of the buildings, as well as an asbestos and lead-based paint report. All of those reports came out fairly clean. The asbestos and lead study did find some issues that are typical of the type of property that was built. The one building that was built in 1954 has some items that are typically found in structures of that age. The report suggests that any disturbance of those materials would just require the proper handling and disposal of the materials. The other building at 13191 that was constructed in 1980 does not seem to have any of those issues. Finally, on December 12th, the city's planning commission, with now former member Burton not participating, found by a 6-0 vote that the purchase of the properties for water, utilities, office space is in conformity with your general plan. So that allows this council to proceed and consider the resolution approving the purchase and sale agreement. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Prior to questions of staff from the council, I'd like to open this up and ask if there's any input or comments from the audience this evening. Okay, seeing none. Council comments or questions? Chris?
Yeah, I'll make a comment. I just want to say I'm excited for this. I think this is awesome for the city of Chino. This is part of our, I guess, plan of trying to gain control as much as we can of the downtown area. So this is exciting, and I mean, if no one else has any comments, I would make a motion.
Okay, there is a motion from Chris Flores. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Lucio. Any other further comments? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Mary Loa.
Yes. Item passes unanimously. I'm also very excited about this. This is going to be a great addition for our staff that are absolutely crowded where they're located right now down in the Public Works yard. What we were considering before these buildings went up for sale was actually locating some modulars down at the Public Works building. So I think this is a far better investment in a permanent building than modulars. Next item is item number 5, award of contract and additional appropriation. The Old Schoolhouse Museum Barn and Site Improvements Project PF 201. This is to award a construction contract in the amount of $1,469,963 to Micon Construction Incorporated, Placencia, California, for the Old Schoolhouse Museum Barn and Site Improvements Project. Staff report this evening will be provided by our Parks and Capital Projects Manager, Carolyn Balzer. Carolyn?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council. The current fiscal year budget provides funding for the Old Schoolhouse Museum Barn and Site Improvements Project. The project will consist of constructing a new 722-square-foot display barn, which includes an exhibit gallery and storage room. Additional improvements include new walkways with security lighting, fencing, landscaping, irrigation, and accessibility improvements to the adjacent sidewalks, parking lot, and entrance to the Old Schoolhouse Museum facility. The Old Schoolhouse Museum is one of Chino's designated historical sites. As such, the barn, site amenities, walkways, and fencing have been designed to mimic the 1800s. The exhibit gallery will house antique farm equipment, tools, artifacts, historic documents, memorabilia, and photographs, which have been donated to the Old Schoolhouse Museum from local farms, dairies, and residents. The new barn addition and site improvements will help revitalize and enhance the appearance of the Old Schoolhouse Museum site, along with opening up opportunities for residents to visit the site. The new barn will be available for residents to rent for birthday parties, small wedding venues, anniversaries, reunions, and more. In addition, local schools can offer field trips to tour the site and learn about Chino's history. A notice inviting bids was published in the Chino Champion and on Planet Bids. On October 20th, 2022, 9 bids were accepted electronically. Upon review, staff discovered the 2 lowest bids received by iBuild Spectrum and Pub Construction Incorporated were incomplete, therefore deemed non-responsive. Staff reviewed the 3rd lowest bid submitted by Micon Construction Incorporated of Placentia, California, in the amount of $1,469,963, along with their licenses, bonds, references, and list of subcontractors, and found them to be the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. At this time, staff is requesting City Council's approval to award a contract to Micon Construction Incorporated in the amount of $1,469,963 for the Old Schoolhouse Museum Barn and Site Improvements Project, and authorize expenditures of up to $220,495 for project contingencies, bringing the total contract amount of $1,690,458. In addition, staff is requesting an appropriation of $980,159 to the Building Management Fund with a year-end transfer from the general fund. The city attorney's office has reviewed all the documents and found them to be in order. This concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Carolyn. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Seeing none, council questions or comments?
I have some comments, Mayor.
Karen?
Thank you, Mayor. I just also want to state that I'm very excited about this project. As the mayor mentioned earlier during some of our ceremonials, Chino has a rich agricultural history, and in just a recent meeting with some local dairy farmers, I didn't really realize that some of our dairy farmers were so innovative and actually brought different watering troughs and feeding troughs for cows to the market that literally revolutionized how we raised cows and milked them and did different things. So I'm excited for this piece of our history to be preserved. When I met with this committee just recently, one of the things that we did at the Chino Police Department when we moved was we dedicated an area to preserve our history. And I think when we look back on it now, we probably wish we had a space double that size because we have such a rich history. So this is going to give us another location to preserve our history, to educate the next generation of residents about our rich history, and I think it's to be something really nice for the downtown area, Mayor.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion and a second.
With that, I will make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, second from Councilperson Burton. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes, that passes unanimously. Item number 6, purchase order approval, Chino Rancho Park Development Project, pre-manufactured restroom building. Approve a purchase order in the amount of $303,246 to Public Restroom Company, Minden, Nevada, for the purchase of a pre-manufactured restroom building for the Chino Rancho Park Development Project. Once again, our staff report will be provided by Carolyn Baltzer.
And good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council. The current fiscal year budget provides funding for the Chino Rancho Park Development Project. Included in the park site development is the installation of a new custom prefabricated restroom building. Staff contacted Public Restroom Company of Minden, Nevada, who specializes in pre-manufactured concrete restroom buildings, and requested their assistance in the design and pricing of the building. Based on the city's design direction and to fit with the farm theme of the new park site, the new restroom building will be constructed to mimic a barn. The city's purchasing ordinance allows the city to take advantage of competitive bids awarded to vendors by other agencies. Sourcewell issued a notice inviting bids and conducted a nationwide competitive bid process. As a result of the Sourcewell bid process, Public Restroom Company was selected to provide park and recreation equipment, which includes prefabricated restroom buildings, to public agencies through the bid program. Staff is requesting City Council to approve a purchase order to Public Restroom Company of Minden, Nevada, in the amount of $303,246 for the direct purchase, delivery, and setup of the prefabricated restroom building. The city attorney's office has reviewed all the documents and found them to be in order. This concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Carolyn. Anyone in the audience like to address the council on this item? Seeing none, council questions, comments? Kurt?
Yes, I was just curious, do we already have some pre-manufactured restrooms in the city?
Yes, we do. We have one at Chino, at the Chino Garden Park, and we also have one at Monte Vista Park. The restroom at Monte Vista Park was manufactured by the same company, Public Restroom Company.
Have we had any maintenance issues with those at all?
No, we have not. They're built very, very well.
Thank you.
Any other council comments? And I would entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion from Councilperson Lucio,
I'll make the second, Mayor.
and second from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is council committee assignments. Before you, you have the list of suggested assignments for each council member. This has was put together by me after much consideration, trying to be fair to our council members on making sure everyone is involved in the areas that they are passionate about or have an interest in. Are there any comments or changes that council members wish to make? If not, then I would entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make the motion.
A motion from Councilman Lucio
I'll make the second, Mayor.
and second from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Comstock,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Okay, with that, we have mayor and council reports. I'm going to make mine very, very short. I did have quite a bit to say, but I'll save that to January. We had a wonderful Christmas parade on Saturday. As many of you were there, like every year, our community comes out in force. We had, I think it was 88 entries into the parade this year, and I think there's more people in the parade than actually watch it. And it was crowded on the sidewalks as well, but it turned out very nice. I want to thank our staff and Public Works for providing all of the security and street closures and making sure everybody went where they were supposed to go. So, and with that, I wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year. Congratulations to Kurt Burton and Mark Lucio for running excellent campaigns. I'm proud of the campaigns that we run here in Chino. Especially the folks that end up getting elected are classy. They're classy, they don't mud throw, and, you know, kind of keep things in a nice, respectful way, which is what I'm very proud of, and I think that that speaks a lot for our community as well, because I have noticed over the decades that anyone that gets a little bit out of hand obviously never wins the elections. So, you know, our community is to thank for that as well. Mayor Pro Tem Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll keep mine short as well. I want to thank our staff and community for coming out to our holiday parade this last weekend. There was a great amount of attendance by our residents. Of course, all the entries that the mayor has already mentioned, and just the hard work that our staff puts out to make that such a phenomenal event every year. So thank you. The staff does a great job. And Mayor, I just want to also echo your sentiment, congratulate both the new council, our newest council member and the reelection of Mark. And I too am grateful to live in a community where the election season, I think, is dignified and respectful. And that's not just because of the candidates that have run for city council, but it's also the manner in which our residents handle those elections. So thank you very much for that. It's nice to see, but it's waning in other communities. So let's hope for a continued success in that area as well. So, and that'll be it for tonight, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Flores.
Well, thank you, Mayor. First, I want to say congratulations to you choose and the successful Christmas toy giveaway they had this past weekend. I want to say I look forward to the Chino Neighbor House, their toy giveaway this coming week, and Isaiah's Rocks toy giveaway next Wednesday as well. I look forward to that. Councilmember Mark, if you guys don't know, I've sat with him back here for about 2 years, and this is really where we build our relationship. And Curtis, congratulations, and I look forward to, working on some great projects with you. Here on the north side of town. And with that, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year, and may God bless you. Thank you, Mayor.
Mark?
Yes, I'll try to keep my comments short as well. First, I want to thank the residents for giving me the opportunity to represent them for another 4 years. If anybody's run a campaign, like everybody says, it's not an easy thing. You got your ups and your downs. Sometimes you think you're winning, sometimes you think you're losing. But at the end, it was worth the experience, and definitely was worth the experience. I will say that last week I took a training class with my wife. We ended up doing a class on just doing infrastructure and identifying weaknesses on buildings. But when we were sitting up there, I had a lot of people that were sitting around from other cities, and they were talking about their cities and the crime and everything else. And I was able to say, well, we don't have those issues in Chino because we do have respect for our public safety and we do fund them. They talked about they do have cameras, but they're never monitored. I said, well, we have a real-time crime center. We monitor all our cameras. We have Alpera systems throughout the city where we monitor every single intersection, and that helps us to solve crimes. We support our police department and our fire department here because that's what we do. And now when you sit up here, you have 3 former law enforcement officers that sit here, and we're here because we enjoyed serving in a professional level, and now we're serving in a personal level. So I think the city's very blessed. And on top of all that being said, we're a city that also is faith-based. We believe in God. We believe in doing the right things. And as long as you have people that listen to the man upstairs first when they make decisions, I think we're always going to be a successful city. So I thank everybody for voting for me, the ones that did in my district. And I look forward to serving for the next 4 years. I look forward to working with you, Kurt, and the rest of the council. I think we have a good group up here. I think there's a vision that we all want, and the vision at the end of the day is to make the city the best city that it is. We no longer want to be a stepchild to any other city here. We don't want to take a second step to anybody. And I think we're starting to move in that direction. So I look forward to it, and I look forward to making some progress in these next 4 years. And everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Okay, Kurt?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say that I was honored to be able to actually ride in this year's Christmas parade. I did it many, many years ago with my kids in the Kids Comps and Santa Sleigh. But for the last several years, I've been the MC, and it's kind of different when you're actually riding in the parade. And I had the good fortune of driving in an old police car with my family, so that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. The weather could not have been better, as usual. And you know what? Our community services department, folks, does an incredible job. As it was mentioned up here a moment ago, the hard work that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of people don't see what goes on, a couple of days beforehand, maybe weeks. Linda, you'd be able to know better than I would, but they're here early in the morning before the sun comes up, and it's cold outside, but they do some incredible work, and I appreciate them and what they've done. It was a great event. My grandson had a great time on the Ferris wheel and a couple of the rides out there. And as Councilman Lucio mentioned, I really appreciate the folks in District 2 that voted for me. It's an honor. It really is, and it's somewhat humbling to be elected into a public office, to know that you've got the backing. And I really appreciate it, and I thank you. And I can't thank my family enough, again, for backing me on this. So thank you very much. And I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Be safe out there. Okay, thank you.
City Manager Reich?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. First, I'd like to congratulate council members Burton and Lucio. Looking forward to working with you, Curtis, in a different capacity, and Mark, to continue working with you. I'd also like to thank the Community Services Department for its 6 months of planning to get the parade underway. So all of that work that you put in all the time, I want to thank you for that. And then, of course, Public Works and the Police Department, we couldn't do this without you out there keeping the streets safe, keeping our participants safe, and keeping all the people who come to our parade safe. So I want to thank you for that. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
I apologize. Can I just say one more thing?
Curtis.
I'm new,
Making the
so I can
rules.
make these mistakes right now, but this is not a mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to thank Angela Robles for all the hard work that she has done over the years in this city, this community. She's our city clerk, and the work that this young lady does is phenomenal. I just really appreciate it, and Angela, I want you to know that you are one of the hardest workers I have ever met in my life, and I really appreciate the work you've done for this city. Thank you.
A little bit of insight. I believe tomorrow is Thursday is Angela's last day with us. She's leaving the city of Chino and going to work for the fire district. So she'll still be in our community and still connected to us, although not here at City Hall. So I'm happy that she's going to an agency that's one of ours and a very, very good agency, but I'm very, very sad on our behalf that we're going to be losing you. So. Councilor Fred Galante.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to echo your city manager's comments to congratulate council members Lucio and Burton and look forward to working with you. Beyond that, happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. Chief Simmons? I'm going to turn it back to you guys to say something.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to congratulate Councilmember Lucio and Councilmember Burton. I've enjoyed working with you for over 20 years and looking forward to working with you again, Kurt. And I appreciate the comments reference the support and resources that we get from this council. And I wanted to share an example of that from this last Thursday. Unfortunately, we had a bank robbery at the U.S. Bank located in the Stater Brothers at Schaefer and Euclid. But due to the technology and our partnership with Stater Brothers and the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, we were able to identify that suspect. And I'm pleased to say we got them into custody yesterday for not just the burglary here in Chino, or the robbery here in Chino, but 2 other robberies in 2 other counties. So we're very pleased with that, and we couldn't do it without your support and help on that. Also, I'd like to invite you and the community out on December 20th, Tuesday, for our annual Red Cross Blood Drive. So that'll be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Chino Police Department. You can go to redcrossblood.org to sign up for an appointment for that, and encourage people in the spirit of Christmas and in giving to come and give blood on that day. And lastly, I want to thank our police association. Our police association every year is privileged to be able to take Santa and bring up the end of the parade. I always feel humbled as I get a ride with Santa in there, realizing that everybody is cheering him and don't even realize I'm in the sleigh. But also our association is going out throughout the community this month in the sleigh, and you'll see them out and about in evenings going through the neighborhoods with their families, passing out candy canes to our community. So I'm grateful for them and the work that they do. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Wes, and congratulations. You guys always get the guy.
Thank you.
Always get the criminals. So we're all very, very thankful for the job you guys do.
Thank you.
Now, I don't see an official fire member here, but we do have 2 board members. Member Harvey Luth and John DeMonico. Do one of you want to give us an update on the fire department?
Mayor, City Council, I'd just like to say congratulations for your re-election, Councilmember Lucio, and your election, Councilmember Burton. And just want to say, tomorrow night, we get to do the same thing. Tomorrow night, we will be swearing in re-elected Mike Krieger and newly elected past council member here, Tom Howie. So if anybody's available tomorrow, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Fire District Headquarters, we'll have our swearing-in ceremony. And with that, I'd like to wish everybody a very safe and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And any last-minute comments from council members? I know, Karen, you wanted to say something?
Angela, it almost slipped my mind before we left here tonight that you are leaving our city and going next door to the fire district. I obviously ran my first campaign with your assistance. I couldn't have done it without some of your guidance and direction. And Angela, you're classy. You're classy, you're professional. We are going to miss you. Thank you so much for your service. The fire district is fortunate to be getting an employee of your caliber. And we're going to miss you, but also I'm happy you're at least staying in Chino, right? You're going to go next door. And I think that's also nice when we have employees who seek opportunities to improve themselves. I know you're going to do a great job. Thank you. And now if we need something from the city clerk or something of that nature from the fire district, we have somebody we know personally over there. So I look forward to continue to work with you. And Mayor, it's kind of slipped my mind. This is our last meeting before the end of the year, so I
Yes, it
like
is.
to just also say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and have a safe, holiday season. We'll see you next year, and we're looking forward to getting some work done.
Any other comments?
I also want to thank you, Angela. You were actually the first swarming person that when I decided to run 4 years ago, that you really helped me out through the process. You made things very, very easy. You explained things. You helped me and my wife. She didn't know anything about being a treasurer, but you brought us up to speed on that. You've always been, like Karen said, you've been a classy person to work with. You're very hardworking, very, very dedicated, easy to talk to, and I'm truly going to miss you. I enjoyed these last 4 years working with you. I look forward to crossing paths with you when you're at the fire district. They definitely are gaining a huge asset over there. They're a good organization, so I'm glad that you're leaving for an organization that is the fire district. I know it's a great opportunity for you and for your family. But thank you for everything you've done here. You're definitely going to be hard to replace. And thanks for everything.
Angela, I remember one of our last conversations, you said, Chris, if there's anything you need when I'm not here, please let me know. I'm still here to help. Just don't tell the fire I'm independent board. So I promise I won't tell them, okay? With that being said, again, just thank you for all your help. And I know you've been working very hard with Natalie. And Natalie, you're filling in some big shoes. So we expect a lot out of you, but at the same time, we know you're going to fulfill them. And again, thank you, Angela.
Okay, with that then, we will adjourn our meeting to January 3rd, 2023 at 7 o'clock with closed session starting at 6 if necessary. With that, we are adjourned. See you next year.
If I ever did have to fill in for a